Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you are interested in today's video. As a world-renowned technology company, Apple's every move can be said to have attracted much attention. In recent years, the news of Apple's supply chain transfer can be said to have received widespread international attention. It has led core foundries such as Foxconn and Wistron to build factories in India, and the value of parts provided by Chinese suppliers in the iPhone 15 has dropped to 2%. It has become one of the key topics discussed by many people in the industry. Recently, Foxconn has invested an additional $1.2 billion in building a factory in India, and plans to increase the number of employees in the Indian factory to 70,000, which has once again attracted attention. Not only that, Foxconn also plans to move China's $300 billion worth of production capacity to create another Apple mobile phone production base in India. What people didn't expect was that the second Foxconn recently appeared and announced the closure of the production line in Shanghai. 100,000 employees were abandoned. This company is Pegatron, a well-known domestic notebook computer foundry. Electronic product assembly (OEM) is a typical labor-intensive industry. China's low labor prices have attracted many companies to enter, including Foxconn and Pegatron, which is also a Taiwanese company. One of Pegatron's parent companies is the famous Apple OEM factory Pegatron. Therefore, after Pegatron invested and built a factory in Shanghai, it also received a large number of Apple orders. It is mainly responsible for OEM, iPhone mobile phones and laptop computers for Apple. With the help of mainland China's abundant labor resources, Pegatron's production capacity has grown rapidly, and it has become one of the top 5 notebook computer companies in the world. Since entering the Chinese mainland market in 2004, Pegatron's production capacity has rapidly begun to develop, and its scale has also continued to expand. Judging from public market information, Pegatron has more than 100,000 employees, an annual production capacity of over 90 billion, and even provides about 10% of Shanghai's GDP. Pegatron has been operating in Shanghai for more than 20 years. Some people who don't know enough about it even regard Pegatron as a local company in Shanghai. It is not difficult to see Pegatron's influence and popularity. However, with the rapid rise of local companies such as Huawei, Apple's notebook computers have continued to lose influence and market share in the Chinese market. Not only that, as Apple's diversified supply chain strategy proceeds, Apple's supply chain is also being withdrawn and transferred to regions such as India and Vietnam. At present, Apple has not only brought more than a dozen supply chain manufacturers such as Foxconn, Wistron, and Luxshare Precision to invest and build factories in India, but has also included the Indian company Tata Group in the supply chain, planning to build India into its second production base. Under this situation, the number of iPhones, laptops and other products produced by Apple in mainland China is also constantly decreasing. It also faces competition from domestic OEMs, such as Luxshare Precision and BYD. What Pegatron can obtain, the number of orders has also been further reduced. Just recently, Pegatron announced that it would shut down its production line in Shanghai. Industry insiders said, Pegatron plans to move overseas together with Apple's supply chain. The destination is likely to be India, Vietnam, and other areas with lower labor prices. There is a high probability that Pegatron will move to India like Foxconn. However, judging from the current situation, if Pegatron moves to India to invest and build a factory, the situation may not be as ideal as imagined. After all, well-known Apple OEM companies such as Pegatron and Wistron have withdrawn from the Indian market, which is enough to show that investing in and building factories in India faces various problems that need to be solved. In addition, Apple OEMs such as Foxconn and Tata Group are building large-scale factories in India. It is not that easy to compete with Foxconn, Tata Group, and others with Pegatron's production capacity and strength. With the downward trend in the consumer electronics industry, Apple's shipments of smart devices such as iPhones, laptops, and tablets have also been affected. One thing worth noting is that the news that famous OEM companies such as Pegatron and Foxconn are leaving mainland China has attracted widespread attention, and some people have expressed concerns about whether it will have a bad impact. In fact, this kind of worry is completely unnecessary. The advantages of the Chinese market and the demand for OEM products are there. The rapid rise of domestic mobile phone manufacturers such as Huawei, Xiaomi, and OPPO has also brought more OEM demand. Nowadays, the domestic consumer electronics industry such as mobile phones and notebook computers is developing rapidly, and many domestic manufacturers are also attracting attention in the international market. With Huawei's strong return and the gradual completion of Huawei's supply chain, domestic supply chain manufacturers and OEM companies have also received more orders. Judging from data released by market forecasting agencies, Huawei Mate 60 can bring tens of billions of dollars in orders to the assembly foundry and supply chain. From this point, it is not difficult to see that the domestic supply chain is developing rapidly, bringing more local demand. Domestic manufacturers will naturally give priority to assembly and OEM orders to local companies, which also promotes the development of domestic OEM companies. Domestic foundry companies such as Luxshare Precision and BYD are also developing rapidly. As long as there is demand support, production capacity can be increased rapidly, and the demand for labor will further increase, which can completely fill the gap. The most important thing is that China's manufacturing is developing and transforming, and the demand for low-end manufacturing is constantly decreasing. Instead of being obsessed with retaining low-end manufacturing, it is better to think about how to accelerate the development of mid to high-end manufacturing. The transfer of manufacturing is a normal development of a market economy. Labor-intensive industries will naturally migrate to areas with lower labor costs, although OEM companies such as Foxconn and Pegatron have recently reported that they are leaving mainland China. However, with the support of demand from the Chinese market, domestic foundry companies have also begun to develop rapidly, and foundry companies such as Luxshare Precision have also won many iPhone orders. What's more, with the construction of the supply chain of local companies such as Huawei and Xiaomi, domestic OEM companies will inevitably further develop.